What's up, everybody? Welcome to SkillWarz patch notes for version 0.71. This is the biggest update in a while, and the first update in 3 months. So lots of stuff to cover. Normally I have the patch notes up on my second monitor, which is a full HD monitor turned sideways, so plenty of vertical space. That's too big for even that. So this video might be a bit long, but first thing we're going to cover is you see this email field here. Used to be putting your email in didn't really do anything. Now you'll get sent the verification code and your account details, so there's less people hopefully that are forgetting about their account and whatnot, and less people that complain about forgetting their password. You also have to accept these rules. Rules haven't changed, but you do have to click accept now before you can make an account. So that is the difference. Once again, hopefully less people complaining that they get muted or banned or whatever, and they say there's no rules anywhere. Well, yeah, there are, but yeah. So that's on there now, just as a change, more like a quality of life change for the admin team. It feels like sometimes, but hopefully that'll decrease the amount of people breaking the rules and just decrease the amount of BS that people say when they're trying to get their mute or ban appealed or whatnot. So when launching the game here, which for me takes a little while because I have like 150 maps, it used to be your username would just save automatically. Now there's a checkbox where you can save your username or password. So as you see here, my password was saved. I can just log in. Don't save your password on computers that multiple people use if you don't want random people logging into your account and messing stuff up for you, including if they're typing stuff in chat or whatever, or running hacks. Then you can get banned, and you don't get unbanned just because you said it was someone else. Whether it was or not, that's not a reason we unban people. So just a fair warning there. On the main menu, you may notice there's this nice new settings button. Settings look great. It's really nice thing that has been added. There is a minor bug where if you can't tell, but I'm scrolling the scroll wheel on my mouse. It only works when you're on these titles, not above these things here. However, that bug already is fixed. So it is a bug in this version, but it already should be fixed for the next version, so don't worry about that. A crosshair has been added, and I'll show this when I'm playing in game in a little bit. You can turn the crosshair on, but you'll have a higher bullet spread. It's not that much higher though. It's maybe twice the diameter or 1.5 times the diameter. It's not a major difference, and it seems to actually be smaller than the crosshair itself. I can't remember off the top of my head whether the bullet spread is different for different guns. I don't think it is. I've been testing with the KSG shotgun, and the bullet spread appears to be smaller than the actual size of the crosshair, so it's still pretty small. But that is something to be aware of. If you know well where the center of your screen is, then you might be better off not enabling the crosshair. There's a few different crosshair styles. I wish there was a preview image here, but there's not. But it's nothing major. Nothing majorly different between them. Basically just different sizes and lengths of the different thicknesses and lengths of the little crosshair lines, and there's different colors you can pick, not anything crazy here. We all know what these colors are. And then of course there's visibility. One thing it says visibility, and it also says transparency if you look in the top right. I can tell you that this is visibility, not transparency, because those are the same thing, but they're measured in opposite ways. So 100% visibility is visible, 100% transparency is invisible. So this is visibility. So if it's at 100%, that's the most visible, and 0% is completely invisible. Something else in the settings is the resolution. There's no longer a different resolution options for different refresh rates. It'll just use the highest refresh rate. Apparently there's something a bit different with using exclusive versus full screen on terms of what it will use if... So like on my machine, I have a 60 Hz monitor and a 60 Hz graphics card. If you have something like a higher performance machine where you have higher refresh rates than that, you might get a difference versus using exclusive versus full screen and what refresh rates it uses. I'll link the patch notes in the description like usual. So maybe you'll understand what it's trying to say. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to speak on it. But if you have a monitor or a PC that runs higher than 60 Hertz, you might want to take a look at that. Something else that is a changed setting is in video Ambient Occlusion. You can set it to full, far, close, off. So as you can see here, full is everything. Far is only the environment. Close is your arms, your weapon, whatever. It's probably legs also, if you have show legs turned on, though I don't actually know on that. Ambient Occlusion is where very small details will be blurred instead of showing up. Very small details that are smaller than the pixel, smaller than your resolution, will be blurred instead of showing up sharply, which tends to look better overall, but it uses some CPU power. One thing to note is that if you're not playing on community maps, the default maps, Ambient Occlusion is kind of already built in, so there's no need to run full. If you're just playing on the default maps, you can stick to close, and it should look basically the same. Full and far, you're going to have higher CPU usage, higher graphics usage. But if it's just on close, you're not going to have that much of a difference. All right, next up, there is some of these smoke effects apparently might be different. It has to do with switching Unity versions and rendering pipelines and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into it, but if the smokes look different, then you know why. That's basically it. There were 2 bugs with the camera shake, which is the higher your frame rate was, the more the camera would shake, like if you were getting shot at or something, I believe is what that's referencing, where you would have the camera shake. Well, the higher your frame rate, the faster the shake. Now, no matter what your frame rate is, the shake is going to be the same. Something else is that when you were shooting your weapon continuously and there was an explosion happening by you, sometimes your weapon would get kind of locked into a weird, you would get kind of locked into a weird aiming position until you unaim down sights. That's been fixed. I'm going to link that. I'm not going to show that off in this video. I'll link the video in the description if you want to take a look at that. There have been some recoil adjustments. In version 70, you can see this is, I think, Crosshair 5 and Cyan, of course, with pretty high, with pretty low transparency, pretty high visibility. In version 70, there was 2x vertical and 1.5x horizontal recoil on all guns. Ooh, there's a little foreshadowing here if you look at my perks. Double jump got added back. I'll get to that in a bit. So, what was I saying? It was... Dang, okay. I'm actually going to take double jump off for now. So, the recoil was 2.5 times vertical kick, and then there was 1.5 times horizontal kick. So a lot of guns, the horizontal is kind of random, whereas it'll mostly kick vertically. So those were changed. Now they've actually been changed back mostly. I'm not 100% sure what it actually is. There is a discussion post on it on the forum, but it's not actually said in the patch notes exactly what was changed, like how it was changed back, what guns were changed. I don't know if the recoil was universally reduced or just reduced some for certain guns. I haven't really tested it because recoil takes forever to test. It's pretty hard to test also. But that's just something to be aware of, that the recoil is a bit higher still than it used to be, but it should be lower than it was in the last version, if that makes any sense. The KSG 12 close range damage was increased, and I'll put this in the description also, what the exact damage numbers were. From my testing, I think it did 30 damage at close range before, and now it's supposed to do 50 damage. Though I can't remember what the exact range profile is, so I'll put that in the description if you want to know about it. Man, that dude was prepared for me being there. Another minor thing with the C# garbage collection. If you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. One thing is that that got changed in one of the Unity versions, so it might have been contributing to some stuttering or something like that. So now that should be better now. That should be like less stuttering. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it probably doesn't matter at all. just you should have a smoother playing experience. In terms of, so some weapon customization changes have been made, but not the way you might expect, unfortunately. The change is that when you have weapons, it would only save a couple of the previous weapons you had selected between when you closed the game, or maybe, I think maybe it only saved your current weapon setup between when you closed the game and when you reopened it again. What is this guy doing? This dude has some bad aim. So, once again, the KSG has only been buffed at close range, not long range. So, stuff like that is still as stupid as ever, but the close range damage has been increased. So what it is now is, like, if I go into my class settings here, if I go into Assault, so I have these saved. I haven't set them on since I've opened the game. This has just been saved since the last time I had the game opened. Previously, it would not do that. Previously, you would have to kind of change stuff back on a lot of your classes when you reopen the game. Now it'll save the guns for every class. So that's a nice change. Definitely a nice quality of life increase there. What else? Oh yeah, I think the last thing is just that double jump has been added back. What is this guy doing? This guy's AFK. My teammate is really not looking. So, double jump has been added back, and works with low gravity like before. One thing is that for rooms that are not password protected, it has been nerfed. The jump height has been nerfed. Ah, I changed this class by accident. Oops. Oh yeah, you can see that when I hip fire here, the actual hip fire spread, even with Crosshair enabled, is not as big as the Crosshair itself. So the hip fire spread is still pretty good, even if you have Crosshair enabled. I'm assuming that's not a bug. I don't think it's a bug. I think that is still larger than it is with Crosshair disabled. So I don't have low gravity unlocked right now. I think I'm about to unlock it actually, but I don't have it unlocked right now, so I can't show you exactly how it is. But the summary is that, you know, it works like normal, except that it's nerfed. What is he doing? What? the jump height in rooms that are not password protected is nerfed for the double jump. However, I don't even know why I did that. That was such a bad idea. However, but for password protected rooms, the low gravity double jump works exactly like it did before, exactly like it used to. So if you liked that, then you can go into a password protected room and play with your friends and experience the classic low gravity double jump, or at least how it was the last time it wasn't enabled, because it has been changed a bit over the years. But yeah, having it in a password protected room will disable the most recent nerf to it, at least. So I think that's about it with all the updates. I said this was going to be a long video. I'm so glad the KSG is at least usable now. I'm going 15 and 6 actually, so I guess it's pretty good. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. I read all my comments, so put whatever you want down there. I'll take a look at it and reply to it if I can. With that all being said, thank you so much for watching. And I will catch you later.